My friends thought I would last maybe 20 minutes with her, an hour if I was lucky. That was the whole joke. Sit through one drink, survive her reputation, come back with a funny story they could laugh about for weeks. Instead, I ended up watching the sunrise with her on an empty beach while everyone else was asleep, and nothing in my life felt the same after that. My name is Ethan Brooks. I am 28 years old and I work as a copywriter at a small advertising agency in San Diego. I am the quiet guy in the group. The one who remembers everyone's coffee order. The one people call when they need help moving or need a ride from the airport. I am not the guy who wins big bets or takes crazy chances. I am the guy who sits in the corner of the bar and makes sure everyone gets home safe. That Friday night started like most of our nights out. My best friends from work, Tyler and Marcus, had dragged me to a downtown bar after a long week of impossible deadlines and annoying clients. The place was noisy, full of people in tight clothes and loud laughter. Neon lights reflected off bottles behind the bar. Music vibrated in my chest. I was nursing my first beer, already thinking about my couch and Netflix, when Tyler slid into the seat beside me with that look he gets when he is about to do something stupid. "Ethan," he said, draping an arm around my shoulders, "how brave are you feeling tonight?" "That depends," I said, "on how much trouble I am about to be in." Marcus appeared on my other side, grinning like he had already won a prize. "We found someone for you," he said. "No," I replied automatically. "Whatever this is, the answer is no." Tyler laughed. "You have not even heard it yet. Come on. You trust us, right?" "The last time I trusted you," I said, "I ended up singing karaoke in front of my boss." "And you crushed it," Marcus said. "Besides, this is better. We are talking about an actual human connection. You know, that thing you write about in campaigns but never actually experience yourself?" I rolled my eyes, but they had a point. My love life, since my last breakup, had been a graveyard. A couple of awkward dates from apps, nothing that went past a second coffee. I kept telling myself I was too busy for dating. The truth was, I was scared of feeling stupid and rejected again. "Who is she?" I asked, more curious than I wanted to admit. Tyler lowered his voice like he was sharing some big secret. "Her name is Claire. She is a friend of a friend. She is here tonight, and she has a reputation." "That already sounds bad," I said. "Not bad," Marcus corrected. "Intense. She is smart, opinionated, does not tolerate nonsense. Guys do not usually last long with her. She scares them off." "You think that is funny?" I asked. "We think it is a challenge," Tyler said. "So here is the bet. One drink. Sit with her. Talk to her. If you last an hour without giving up and walking away, we pay your tab for a month. All your Friday nights on us." I laughed because it sounded ridiculous. "You want to pay for my drinks for a month because you think I will run away from a conversation with a woman?" "Not just any woman," Marcus said. "Claire Miller. She has roasted 3 guys in this bar alone, one left in tears." "She is not mean," Tyler added quickly. "She just does not pretend to be impressed when she is not. Most guys cannot handle that." Something about that made my chest tighten. I had spent most of my life being the safe choice, the easy choice, the guy who did not cause trouble. Suddenly, the idea of someone who did not play along with fake stories and boring charm felt interesting. "What if she does not like me?" I asked. "Then you will know she has taste," Marcus joked, then raised his hands when I glared at him. "Relax. You are a good guy, Ethan. If anyone can last an hour with her, it is you." I looked down at my beer. My reflection stared back at me in the foam. Same brown hair, same tired eyes, same safe smile. Maybe it was the music, or the lights, or the fact that I was so tired of my own routine, but something in me shifted. "Fine," I said. "I will do it. 1 hour." Tyler slapped the bar and cheered. "That is my man!" Marcus pulled out his phone. "I am texting Jenna. She is the one who knows Claire. They are on the patio." "Wait," I said. "Right now?" "You want to book a future appointment?" Tyler laughed. "Yes, right now." "Before you chicken out." While they argued over who was paying the first round, I turned on my stool and scanned the bar. Through the glass doors that led to the outdoor patio, I could see a cluster of people under hanging string lights. That was when I saw her. She was sitting at a small table by the railing, a half-finished drink in front of her, a jean jacket draped over the back of her chair, dark brown hair pulled into a loose ponytail, white t-shirt, black jeans, simple gold necklace, no loud makeup, no sparkling dress. She looked more like someone you would see in a bookstore than in a noisy bar. She laughed at something the woman next to her said, and the sound reached me even through the glass. Not loud, but real, the kind of laugh that made you want to hear the joke. "That's her," Marcus said, following my gaze. "Claire." My stomach dropped. Great. She is way out of my league. "League is fake," Tyler said. "Confidence is real. And you have one thing most guys do not." "What is that?" I asked. "You actually listen," he said. "Just do what you always do. Be yourself, but like the less terrified version." Before I could talk myself out of it, Tyler clapped me on the back and practically pushed me toward the patio doors. My heart was beating too fast. My hands felt slightly sweaty. This was stupid. This was just a bet. 1 hour. I could always make some excuse and leave if it went bad. The warm night air hit my face as I stepped outside. The patio lights gave everything a soft glow. People chatted around high tables, the smell of grilled food and citrus drinks hanging in the air. Jenna, a coworker from another department, spotted me first. She waved me over with a big grin. "Ethan," she called, "over here." Claire turned at the sound of my name. For the first time, her eyes met mine. They were a deep, clear brown, sharp but not cold. She looked me over in one quick glance, not in a cruel way, just like she was trying to figure out what kind of person I was. "This is my friend Claire," Jenna said a little too brightly. "Claire, this is Ethan, the writer I told you about." "Copywriter?" I corrected automatically, then wanted to kick myself. Claire's mouth twitched like she was hiding a smile. "Is there a difference?" "A copywriter gets paid less," I said. She actually laughed at that, a small, honest sound. Jenna excused herself way too fast, clearly part of the setup, leaving me alone with Claire at the small table. There was a beat of silence. The old me would have panicked and filled it with nervous rambling. Instead, I pulled out the chair across from her and sat down. "Can I be honest?" I asked. "That is usually a good start," she said. "My friends bet I would not last an hour talking to you," I said. Her eyebrows rose. For a second, I thought she would be offended. Instead, she leaned back in her chair and folded her arms, studying me. "Did they say why?" she asked. "They said you are intense," I replied. "Smart. Honest. That most guys cannot handle you." Something flickered in her eyes. She took a sip of her drink. "And what do you think?" she asked. "So far." "So far," I said, "I think they are cowards." They should have introduced themselves. That made her laugh again, longer this time. She set her glass down and looked at me in a way that made the rest of the patio blur around the edges. "Okay, Ethan, the underpaid copywriter," she said. "You have my attention for the next hour. Let's see what you do with it." In that moment, with the music low outside and the soft glow of the string lights above us, I had no idea that the bet was already lost. Not because I would run away, but because once we started talking, I would not want the night to end at all. I did not plan anything clever. I just asked her a simple question. "So what do you do, Claire?" I said. Most people answer that question with a job title and a bored tone. She didn't. "I draw people all day," she said. "Faces, hands, little details on a collar. I work as a portrait artist at a studio in North Park. Sometimes I freelance for magazines." "That sounds amazing," I said, and I meant it. "It sounds amazing," she said, "until you get a client who wants their face on a magazine cover but also wants you to erase 20 years and 5 bad decisions." I laughed. "So you do not just draw what you see, you draw what they wish they were." She tilted her head. "I try not to. I like the small flaws. They are what make people real. But some people are scared to be real." The way she said it made me feel like we were no longer talking about her clients. "Do you draw yourself?" I asked. Sometimes, she said, when I want to be brave, self-portraits are hard. You see all the things you try to ignore. You sound like a therapist, I said. She smirked. I am cheaper than therapy, and my sessions come with coffee. We went back and forth like that for a while. It felt easy. No fake flirting, no loud bragging. Just two people trading pieces of who they were over half-empty glasses. She asked about my job next. What do you write? She asked. Taglines, I said. Emails. Ads that tell people a soda will fix their entire life. Do you like it? She asked. I like writing, I said. I do not always like what I have to write for money. So what would you write if you could write anything? She asked. That was the question almost no one asked, not even my friends. I hesitated, then told her the truth. I am working on a book, I said. Slowly. Nights and weekends. It is about a guy who thinks he is happy with small, safe things until he gets thrown into something bigger than him. What throws him? She asked. A woman, I said before I could stop myself. Her eyes stayed on mine for a beat. Of course, she said softly. Men always find the big story in a woman. You say that like it is a bad thing, I replied. Not bad, she said, just heavy. Women are tired of being the lesson instead of the person. That hit me in the chest. I leaned back and thought about what she said. You are right, I said. Maybe I need to fix that. Maybe you just need to let him be the lesson this time, she said. She tapped the side of her glass. I like that you did not argue, she added. Most men try to debate me when I say things like that. Quote, I am not here to win a debate, I said. I am just trying to learn why my friends are scared of you. Her mouth curved. They are scared of me because I do not laugh at jokes that are not funny, she said. And I do not pretend to be impressed with men who only know how to talk about themselves. We drifted from jobs to music, from music to family. I told her about growing up in a small town in Arizona, moving to San Diego at 22 with a suitcase and a laptop. Do you miss it there? She asked. I miss my mom's cooking, I said. I do not miss everyone knowing my business. She nodded like she understood that too well. I grew up here, she said. Same city, same freeways, same beach smell. Sometimes I want to leave. Then I think maybe I just need to change how I live in the place I already am. You live alone? I asked. Yeah, she said. Top floor apartment, over a bookstore, tiny kitchen, leaky window in my bedroom, best place I have ever had. That sounds perfect, I said. It is, she admitted, when it is not too quiet. Quote, the way she said that last part sat between us for a moment. I checked my phone at one point, not because I was bored, but because I was curious. 50 minutes had passed. It did not feel like it. It felt like 20. Are you timing me? She asked. I smiled. Yes, I think I won the bet. Oh, she said. We are talking about the bet again. I winced. Sorry, I should not have told you. No, she said. I am glad you did. It says more about them than it does about me. She leaned forward, elbows on the table. So, she said, did your friends think I would scream at you? Throw a drink? Eat you alive with my opinions? Something like that, I said. They said you made one guy cry. Her expression softened. He cried because I told him he was not a bad person. He just did not have to be proud of every version of himself. That is not mean. That is true. I stared at her. I like the way you see people, I said. She looked away for the first time, out over the railing at the street below. Sometimes I wish I could turn it off, she said. Seeing people clearly? I asked. No, she said, wanting them to be honest with themselves. It is a lot to carry when they are not ready. There it was. The reason most guys did not last. It was not because she was too much. It was because she refused to be less. The server came out and asked if we wanted another round. Claire looked at me. Do you? She asked. I will stay if you do, I said. Her lips quirked. Safe answer. She looked at the server. Actually, she said, we will close out and take the drinks to go. Can you put them in plastic cups? The server nodded and walked away. Are you leaving? I asked, trying not to sound disappointed. I am not, she said. I am moving locations. This place is too loud, and my brain is too busy. Where are you going? I asked. Depends, she said. Are you the kind of man who can sit on a cold beach and not complain every 5 minutes? I smiled. I am the kind of man who always keeps a hoodie in his car, just in case. She looked pleased with that answer. Good, she said. So you can handle sand and wind. Let's see if you can handle silence between words, too. 5 minutes later, we walked out together through the bar. I caught a glimpse of Tyler and Marcus at the far side of the room. Their eyes went wide when they saw me leaving with her. Tyler mouthed something like, "What?" and pointed at the clock on his phone. I did not stop. I just lifted a hand in a half wave and followed Claire out into the night. The air outside was cooler. The city sounded different away from the music. Cars passed. A siren wailed somewhere far away. Streetlights cast soft circles on the sidewalk. My car is that way, she said, pointing left. Mine is right, I said. She looked at me for a second, like she was making a decision. Okay, she said. We will take yours. I still reserve the right to bail if you play terrible music. We walked to my car, our shoulders almost brushing, but not quite. I unlocked it and opened the passenger door for her. She paused. You are polite, she said. Is that a good thing? I asked. Ask me in the morning, she said. The words hung there between us. They could have meant anything. I tried not to think about what my brain wanted them to mean. She slid into the seat. I walked around to the driver's side, my heart pounding in a calm, steady way that felt new. This did not feel like a joke anymore. Or a bet. It felt like a turning point I could not name yet. I started the engine and looked over at her. Which beach? I asked. The one past the pier, she said. The quiet one. You will see. We drove with the windows slightly open, the night air drifting in. I put on a low playlist, soft guitar and slow beats. Not sad, not loud, just a little sound to fill the space. Claire rested her head against the seat and looked out at the passing lights. Do you always say yes when your friends dare you? She asked. No, I said. I usually say no and go home. What made tonight different? She asked. I thought about that for a second. I am tired of hearing myself say no, I said, to everything that scares me. She turned her head and looked at me. I could feel her gaze even though I watched the road. Good answer, she said quietly. We reached the beach 20 minutes later. It was one of the quieter stretches of sand, away from the tourist spots. Only a few cars were in the lot. The ocean sounded close even with the windows up, a steady rush. We got out. The air was cooler by the water, carrying the salt smell and a soft mist. I grabbed my hoodie from the back seat and tossed it to her. You first, I said. You look colder. She pulled it on without arguing. It was a little too big on her. The sight did something strange to my chest. We walked down to the sand, plastic cups in hand, shoes in the other. The sand was cool under my feet. The sky above us was dark but clear, a handful of stars poking through the city glow. Claire stopped halfway and sat down, facing the water. I sank down beside her, leaving a small space between us. For a few minutes, we just listened to the waves. No bar noise, no people yelling, just water and wind and breath. This is my favorite place when my brain will not shut up, she said softly. The ocean does not care about my to-do list. I get that, I said. My version is the park by my apartment. There is a bench near a broken fountain. Nobody goes there. You named your bench, she said. Didn't you? I smiled. Yeah, the lonely bench. She huffed a small laugh, then she went quiet again. The hour my friends had bet on was long gone. My phone buzzed once in my pocket, then again. I did not take it out. I did not care. Beside me, Claire drew her knees up and wrapped her arms around them, my hoodie sleeves covering her hands. Do you always feel like you are too much? She asked suddenly. The question caught me off guard. No, I said. I always feel like I am not enough. She turned her head toward me. That surprises me, she said. Why? I asked. You ask real questions, she said. You listen, you are not trying to perform. That is rare. I swallowed. Do you always feel like you are too much? I asked. Yes, she said without hesitation. Too loud, too honest, too intense. Too much for men who want someone soft and easy and grateful. I wanted to reach for her hand. I did not. Not yet. I do not think you are too much, I said. I think you are exact. The world just does not like exact. She held my gaze for a long time. The sound of the waves filled the space between us. Ethan, she said quietly, I am not an easy person to love. Good, I said. I am not looking for easy. I am looking for real. For the first time since we sat down together at the bar, she looked away fast, like she was the one who needed a second to breathe. Somewhere behind us, night was turning slower. The air felt different, like the world around us had shifted an inch. The bet was over. The night was not. And I had a feeling the real story was just starting. For a while we just listened to the waves. I could feel the questions sitting between us, but neither of us rushed to fill the silence. It felt strange and good to sit next to someone who did not seem afraid of quiet. My phone buzzed again in my pocket. This time Claire noticed. You can check it, she said. I am not going to be offended. It is just my friends, I said. They want to know if I survived. She snorted. You should text them back. Tell them the experiment went wrong and you grew attached. I smiled and pulled my phone out. There were 7 messages. Tyler. Bro, you disappeared. Marcus. It has been 3 hours. Tyler. Are you alive? Marcus. If she buried you in the sand, blink twice. The last one was just a photo of a grave made of emojis. I shook my head and typed back. Still alive. Still with her. You both owe me a month of drinks. A second later, Tyler replied, Get it, Romeo. I locked my phone and slipped it back into my pocket. They are dramatic, I said. I could tell from across the bar, she replied. By the way, I asked, what did Jenna tell you about me before I came over? She drew a line in the sand with her toe. She said you were the calm one, Claire said. The guy who never loses his temper. The one who always helps move furniture when everyone else has excuses. She said you are too nice for your own good. That sounds like something she would say, I replied. Is it true? Claire asked. Are you too nice for your own good? I do not know, I said. I used to think being nice was a good thing. Lately it feels like something people say before they break up with you. She turned to look at me. Who said it? She asked. My last girlfriend, I said. She told me I was kind and steady and safe. Then she said she needed someone more exciting. Claire made a face. So she wanted fireworks. She wanted somebody who would jump out of planes with her and go to Vegas on a Tuesday, I said. I like plans and sleep. Nothing wrong with sleep, Claire said, or plans. Exciting people still get tired. I laughed quietly. What about you? I asked. What do people say when they leave? She stared at the line of water for a long time before answering. They say I am exhausting, she said softly. That I think too much, that I ask too many questions, that I never just go along with things. Those all sound like reasons to stay, I said. That is not how most men see it, she said. I shifted closer without thinking. Our shoulders brushed. Neither of us moved away. Tell me about one of them, I said. Pick any ex. Give me the honest version. She took a breath. There was a guy named Aaron, she said. We were together for almost 3 years. He was the kind of man everyone loved at parties. Loud, charming, always the center of attention. On paper that sounds fun, I said. It was fun, she said, until it was not. He liked the idea of me. The artist girlfriend. The one with opinions. But every time I disagreed with him in public, he made a joke out of it. Said I was intense. Said I cared too much about small things. What small things? I asked. Like when his friend grabbed a waitress's waist when she walked by, she said. Or when he made fun of my brother for being quiet. When I spoke up, he pulled me aside later and said I made things awkward. My jaw tightened. Did you leave him, or did he leave you? I left, she said. One night I realized I had started editing myself to keep the peace. I hate editing real life. Work is the only place I do that. She tried to smile, but it came out sad. I felt something warm and fierce build in my chest. I am glad you left, I said. Me too, she said, but her voice was still a little rough. But I think that is where my reputation started, as the girlfriend who asks too many questions, the one who will call you out in front of your friends, the one who will not laugh if you are being a jerk. Good, I said. You should keep that reputation. It will scare away the right people. She looked at me like she was trying to decide if she could believe that. And you? She asked. Who hurt you enough to make you think you are not enough? I stared at the dark ocean. There was a woman named Laura, I said. We dated for 2 years. We talked about moving in together. I thought we were on the same page. What happened? Claire asked. She said she felt like she was living with a roommate. I said. She said I was kind but distant, that I never let her see the parts of me that were messy or angry or scared. She wanted more passion, more fight. I just wanted peace. That sounds like she wanted drama, not connection, Claire said. Maybe, I said. Or maybe I really did hold back too much. I grew up in a house where yelling meant plates flying. I promised myself I would never be that man, so I swing the other way. I shut down when things get too intense. She was quiet for a moment. So we are both trying not to be someone we grew up with, she said. You do not want to be your dad. I do not want to be my mother. What was she like? I asked. Tired, Claire said. All the time. She did everything. She cooked, cleaned, took care of everyone, and nobody took care of her. My father was not mean, just selfish. He wanted a quiet house and a pretty wife, and did not wonder why she smiled less every year. That sounds lonely, I said. It was, she said. I told myself I would never disappear the way she did, that I would never make myself smaller to keep someone else comfortable. It is one thing to promise that at 16. Another thing to keep that promise when you are 30 and tired of eating alone. Her voice shook on that last word. Without thinking this time, I reached over and took her hand. Her fingers were cold from the air. Mine were probably not much warmer, but we fit together easily. She did not pull away. You are not disappearing, I said. Not tonight. She looked down at our hands and let out a slow breath. Careful, Ethan, she said. You are starting to sound like a good man. Only starting? I asked. Do not get cocky, she replied, but there was a smile in her voice now. We sat like that for a while, hand in hand, back against the sand, the night open in front of us. Somewhere behind us, someone let their dog run loose on the beach. We watched it race in and out of the waves, chasing nothing. Claire laughed when it shook water all over its owner. You have any pets? I asked. Just a plant that judges me, she said. You? Used to have a fish, I said. He lasted 4 months. I think he got bored watching me work. Her head tipped back when she laughed at that. The sound mixed with the water and the wind and settled somewhere in me I did not know was empty. After a while, the air got colder. She shivered once and tried to hide it. You are freezing, I said. We can go if you want. Quote, do you want to go? She asked. No, I admitted, but I do not want you turning into a statue. She looked at the horizon. The sky was still dark, but there was the faintest bit of lighter gray at the edge. Do you know what time it is? She asked. I checked my phone. It is almost 4, I said. Her eyes widened. We have been talking for 5 hours. It feels like 1, I said. For a second, she seemed to weigh something in her mind. I come here for the sunrise sometimes, she said. It makes bad nights feel less permanent. Is this a bad night? I asked. It started as a dare, she said. Those usually end badly. And now? I asked. She looked at me, really looked, like she was reading the lines on my face and storing them. Now it feels like something else, she said quietly. Stay until sunrise with me? My heart did that slow, heavy pound again. "Okay," I said. "I will stay." We shifted a little closer. Her shoulder pressed into my arm. The hoodie sleeves covered her hands, but her fingers stayed tangled with mine. The ocean kept moving. The sky kept lightening. Somewhere far away, other people were sleeping through all of this. They would wake up to alarms and coffee and traffic and have no idea that on a quiet stretch of sand, a bet had turned into something neither of us had planned. "Ethan," Claire said after a long time. "Yeah," I answered. "If I scare you," she said, "you are allowed to say so." "You do scare me," I said. She went very still. "How?" she asked. "You make me want to say things I usually keep to myself," I said. "You make me want to stop being careful." She was quiet, then let out a breath that sounded like relief. "Good," she said. "Because you scare me too." "How?" I asked. "You make me think I might actually be enough for someone without shrinking," she said. The first thin line of pink showed up on the horizon. It painted the water with soft color. Before I could tell her that she was more than enough, the world around us began to change, shifting from night to morning, just like whatever we were had shifted from a bet to something dangerous and real. We watched the first edge of the sun push up over the water, and I knew nothing in my life would feel the same after that. The sunrise did what it always does. It made everything look softer and sharper at the same time. The sky went from gray to pale yellow, then to this washed-out pink that turned the water into liquid light. Claire watched it with her chin on her knees, my hoodie wrapped around her, her hair messy from the wind. She looked tired, beautiful, and a little more unguarded than she had all night. "I always forget how fast it happens," she said quietly. "You wait in the dark forever, and then, suddenly, it is morning." "Kind of like this night," I said. She glanced at me. "You mean you usually do not spend 6 hours talking to women your friends bet you would not survive?" "Not usually, no," I said. "Normally, I just go home and fall asleep on my couch halfway through a movie." She smiled at that, then grew serious. "Do you regret it?" she asked. "Staying?" "No," I said. "Do you?" She shook her head. "No, I do not." Quote, "We sat there a few minutes more, letting the light climb higher. Eventually, reality started to creep back in. People would be waking up soon. Dogs would be out. Runners would hit the beach. The quiet bubble of the night would pop. Claire stretched her legs out and winced a little. "My body is going to hate me later," she said. "I have a 9:30 meeting I am not ready for." "Call in sunrise," I said. "Tell them the ocean held you hostage." She laughed. Some clients would still ask for notes. I pushed myself to my feet and held out a hand. "Come on. I will walk you back to your car." She took my hand and let me pull her up. For a second, we stood too close, the ocean behind us, the morning in front of us. The whole world felt like it was taking a breath. We walked back along the path in comfortable silence. The parking lot was half empty now, just a few early surfers loading boards onto their cars. Her small silver sedan sat near the edge. She stopped by the driver's side door and turned to me. Up close in daylight, she looked different, softer and more real. Faint circles under her eyes, little creases at the corners when she smiled. I liked seeing those details. "So," she said, tucking a loose strand of hair behind her ear, "this is usually the part where people get weird." "Weird how?" I asked. "They pretend the night did not happen," she said. "Or they act like we are suddenly in a serious relationship, or they send 12 texts in a row. There is not a lot of middle ground." "What do you want?" I asked. She held my gaze for a long moment, thinking about her answer. "I want space to see what this really is," she said slowly. "Not what it looks like from the outside. Not what your friends or Jenna or anyone else decides it is. I want time to get to know you without rushing to label it. Is that too honest?" "It is exactly honest enough," I said. She smiled, and I felt that now familiar pull in my chest. "I would like to see you again," I added. "On purpose this time. No bets, no setups, just you and me." "I think I would like that too," she said. "Give me your phone." I handed it over. She typed her number, then texted herself from my screen. A second later, her phone buzzed in her bag. "There," she said. "Now you are not allowed to pretend you lost my number by accident." "I would never," I said. She stepped a little closer, looking up at me through her lashes. "One more thing," she said. "Your friends owe you drinks for a month, right?" "At least," I said. "Probably longer. They seriously underestimated your patience." Her lips curved. "You should text them and tell them the bet is over." "I already did," I admitted. "Last night." She tilted her head. "So technically that means the bet ended before sunrise. You stayed after that because you wanted to." "I stayed because I did not want to leave," I said. Something in her expression softened. She reached up and, for the first time, touched my face. Just a light brush of her fingers along my jaw. "You passed a different test," she said quietly, "in case you were wondering." "I did not know I was taking one," I replied. "You did not try to impress me," she said. "You did not back down when I pushed. You asked better questions than most people. You listened. That is rare." "Does that mean I get a prize?" I asked, heartbeat picking up. She thought about it for half a second, then stood on her toes and kissed me. It was not long or dramatic, just a slow, warm press of her mouth against mine. Enough to make the world blur for a moment. Enough to make me forget how tired I was. When she pulled back, there was the faintest hint of surprise on her own face, like she had surprised herself, too. "Consider that your prize," she said. "Do not let it go to your head." "Too late," I said softly. She smiled again, this time with a little shake of her head, then opened her car door. "I will text you after my meeting," she said. "If I fall asleep in it, you have my permission to say, 'I told you so.'" Quote. Noted, I said. "Drive safe." She gave a small wave and pulled out of the parking lot. I stood there watching her taillights disappear, the sun now fully above the horizon. When I finally got into my own car, my phone buzzed again. "Tyler, dude, it is morning. Did you go home with her or did you join a cult? Marcus, if you died, this is a weird way to find out." I took a picture of the empty beach, the bright sky, and my tired face, then typed back. "We talked until sunrise. Bet is paid. I will explain later." Tyler replied with 15 mind-blown emojis. Marcus just sent, "Who are you, and what have you done with Ethan?" I laughed, started my engine, and drove home with the windows cracked to let the cool air in. My whole body felt heavy with lack of sleep, but under the exhaustion, there was something else. A quiet, steady excitement I could not remember feeling in a long time. That day at work, I was useless. I yawned through meetings. I almost put the wrong logo on a client's banner. Tyler and Marcus cornered me at lunch. "Tell us everything," Tyler said. "Did she destroy you? Are you dating? Are you moving in together? Did she actually smile?" "Slow down," I said, poking at my sandwich. "We just talked." "For how long?" Marcus asked. "All night," I said. "We went to the beach, watched the sunrise." They both stared. "That is not how bets are supposed to end," Tyler said finally. "You were supposed to come back humbled and mildly traumatized." "We clicked," I said simply. "I like her. She is not what you said." "We said she is smart and intense," Marcus said. "Was that wrong?" "No," I admitted. "You just left out that she is also kind and funny and brave and more honest than anyone I have met in a long time." Tyler leaned back, studying me. "You like her," he said. "Not a crush like, not a 'she is hot' like, a real like." I shrugged, feeling my face heat. "Maybe." He smiled in that annoying big brother way. "Good, about time." That afternoon, my phone buzzed. A message from Claire. "Survived the meeting, barely. Coffee, sometime when we are both conscious?" I stared at the text for a moment, then typed back. "Yes, but I feel like we should respect the sunrise and meet when there is actual sunlight." She replied with a laughing emoji and a time and place for Saturday afternoon. That became our thing. Daytime coffees at first. Then evening walks, Then dinners where the hours slipped without us noticing. We did not rush to put a label on it, just like she asked. We let it grow in its own way. I saw the sharp, sarcastic Claire my friends had heard about, but I also saw the one who cried at documentaries and sent me pictures of strange signs that made her laugh. She saw the quiet, steady parts of me and the ones I usually kept hidden. The ones that got angry at injustice. The ones that wanted more than just being the safe guy on the edge of the room. A few months in, we were back at that same beach, this time in broad daylight. Families were out. Dogs were everywhere. Kids screamed as waves chased them. We walked along the water, our hands linked, shoes in the other. "Do you ever think about that first night?" she asked. "All the time," I said. "You?" "I do," she said. "Mostly when I am tempted to cancel plans and stay home. I remember that some of the best things in my life happened because I said yes when it would have been easier to say no." I squeezed her hand. "My friends still joke about it," I said. "They say I owe them for forcing me to talk to you." "Do you?" she asked. I thought about it for a second, then shook my head. "I think we broke their bet," I said. "They thought I would not last an hour. Instead, we did something worse." "Worse?" she repeated, amused. "What is worse than losing a bet?" "We proved them wrong," I said, "and now they have to admit I am not as predictable as they thought." She smiled. "I do not think you are predictable at all," she said. "Steady, yes. Thoughtful, definitely, but not predictable." We stopped walking. The water washed over our feet and receded again. "Claire," I said, feeling my heart start that heavy, slow beat, "can I ask you something slightly predictable?" She tilted her head. "That is a strange way to start a question, but go on." "Are we—" I paused, searching for the right words. "Whatever we are, I want it to be real, official, not just something we joke about with our friends. I want to be your boyfriend. I want you to be able to introduce me that way without disclaimers." She looked at me for a long moment, eyes soft. "You already are," she said simply. "But yes, officially, I want that too." The answer settled something in me that had been loose since that first night. We kissed right there with wet sand under our feet and the sun on our faces. Passersby probably did not even notice. To them, we were just another couple on the beach. But to me, it felt like closing a circle that started with a dare and a secret bet. Looking back now, it still makes me laugh that my friends thought I would not last an hour with her. They underestimated both of us. They did not know that the things other people called too much or too quiet were exactly the pieces that fit together. They thought they were sending me into a joke. Instead, they sent me into the best conversation of my life. We did talk until sunrise that night. And, in a way, we have been talking ever since. Through good days and bad ones. Through late-night worries and early morning plans. Through old fears and new hopes. My friends still pay for my Friday night drinks sometimes. Mostly because they know if it had not been for that stupid bet, I might have stayed at the bar, staring at my beer, too scared to cross the room. I am glad I did not. Because that one choice, that one walk across a crowded patio toward a woman everyone said I would not last an hour with, led me to the kind of love I did not know I was allowed to have. Simple, deep, honest. The kind of love that keeps you awake all night without making you feel like you are losing yourself. The kind of love that feels, every single time the sun comes up, like you are starting your life over again.